Randy, if I failed to call you yesterday and wish you a happy Mother's Day, will you forgive me?
I've been called a mother a time or two or three or four, but never in a pleasant way. No, but I hope if you're watching and you have a mom or relatives who are moms, that you took some time out to call them, stop by, and that kind of thing. Mine are grandparents and mom are deceased. But how about you, Teddy? Still have your mom
Yeah,
alive?
my mom is
Mother-in-law?
still in Pennsylvania. My mother-in-law is
Okay.
still in Maryland. I still have a wife. By the way, as of a couple of weeks ago, from my wife of 44 years, and I have four daughters who are mommies as well. So I bought them all beer.
You're going to go broke. You go broke on Mother's Day. Hey, folks, Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. I'm the director for our professional center. I help job hunters around the country, but mostly here in the Triad, North Carolina. If you're in a job search, maybe struggling, there's a lot of reasons why people may struggle in a search, and no time to really get into all of the detail, but just know that I'm here to help. Services are free. We do work by appointment, so please find me on LinkedIn. We're happy to try to help you get where you want to go. And one of the things we do to kind of help along that process is get together a couple times a week. Teddy and I do talk about job hunting and bring in guests to try to help you with your job search. And this coming Wednesday is no exception. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But first, Teddy, let folks know who you are.
You know, Randy, I just realized that you give everything away free. I charge an arm and a leg and two kneecaps. And my business is all about two things: teaching business professionals how to use LinkedIn as a business tool. Too many people still don't know how to use that tool the right way. And also teaching Google Workspace, or some people call it Gmail for Business, how to use that as business tools. Have a lot of fun doing seminars and webinars and one-on-one coaching and creating videos and stand on the street corner and prophesizing about the value of those business tools. So it's a lot of fun. But like Randy said, twice a week we can get together, and our goal is to bring you some ideas. Hey, hang on to the end of this segment, because Randy and I have some tips that I bet you would get value from. So
I think so. And the more I do these, the more fun I have with this crack research staff of one right here, looking up famous birthdays and also those who passed away on this date in history, and also some events that happened. So I'm going to run through these. And Teddy, here's a little quiz for you. Now, this one we've heard of. Billy Joel was born on this date, 1949. Oh. So we know him as the Piano Man. But here's someone you did not know. I didn't know who this was. A fellow named Howard Carter was born on this date many years ago.
He's the guy that came up with that spinny cotton candy, right?
It might have been his cousin. I don't know. It wasn't this Howard Carter. This guy, unlike Geraldo Rivera, he found... Well, that was Al Capone's tomb. Anyway, this dude, Howard Carter, found King Tut's tomb. Tut was asleep at the time. Yeah, he was not available for comment. But anyway, Howard Carter, born in this date. Famous people who passed away. I've got two of them. One of them is a fellow named Wayne Penniman. Passed away in 2020. Nobody's heard of Wayne Penniman, but you've heard of Little Richard. Little Richard, the singer. Yep. And also, here's another fellow you've never heard of. I almost guarantee it. He passed away in 1986. His name, Tenzing Norgay. And he's
along with a candy guy.
No, man, not even close. That wasn't even his cousin. It might have been his second cousin, third removed. But this guy, along with somebody you've heard of, Edmund Hillary. Were the first two to reach the summit of Mount Everest, and did that in 1953. So this fellow, Hillary, gets all the notice. I mean, this guy was right along there with him. So
he carried the backpacks, and Hillary gets all the credit.
Probably right. And on this date, Civil War ended. In 1865, President Andrew Johnson issued a proclamation declaring that armed resistance in the South is virtually at an end. And so I guess if there's a kind of a recognized date that this thing all ended, it was on this date in 1865. And also on this date, 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation starting Mother's Day, which again was yesterday for us. So,
Andy, do I have permission to sign proclamations? Can I do that?
Sure. Yeah, I do it all the time. All right, so here's a story for you. Many of you know, Teddy, I know you know this. I used to work in radio and still do things on radio, TV, and in the newspaper and such, and I really enjoy it. It's fun. I'd like to think I have some level of talent for it, and so it's something that I've enjoyed doing over the years. And got to do it again, just a little bit, not for pay, but last week, had a chance to step into the Winston-Salem Dash press box and get behind the microphone, not during the actual game, but did have a chance to go in there. And I joke because I have photos of me with hair about 40 years ago and 40 pounds ago doing the same thing, doing play-by-play for baseball. So it was just kind of fun to get back in the booth, have a little fun, joke around a little bit, and enjoy some baseball and some nice weather last week.
Did they have to drag you out, or did you willingly leave?
Well, when the authorities showed up, I figured the gig was up and it was time to, boogie on out of there and let the professionals take over. What's your story, Teddy? What's your story this time around?
Hey, Randy, I think I may have told you about this one.
All right.
But last week, I did a video on it, and but I dreamed about Muhammad Ali boxing. I don't know where that came from, but I was dreaming about Muhammad Ali boxing. And when I was waking up, I have no idea where it came from, but I started thinking about all the different ways that he was successful and how he got really good at boxing. And he just wasn't what's it called? A one-trick pony. He had an uppercut, he had a jab, he had a cross. What's a couple other types of punches? A jab, uppercut, cross. There's a fourth key type of punch. I can't remember what it is. Maybe it's a hook. And he was good at all of those different types of punches. And even more so, he was good at putting them into a combination that just overwhelmed his opponent. By the way, 53 wins, 37 knockouts. So I did this research about Muhammad Ali and all those types of punches, and I tried to put it into an analogy to using LinkedIn as a business tool. And I think I did all right. I did a video on it, did a LinkedIn post on it. Not saying, using LinkedIn is like boxing, but understanding what skills you have and what skills you can put together in a combination regarding what you're doing can create success. And the real story was around this. It's not just one punch. It's a bunch of skills. And so, man, I have no idea why in the middle of the night, I woke up, dreaming about Muhammad Ali, and I came up with an analogy. And now I'm just hoping that my post goes viral, man. So we'll see. But anyway, don't be a one-trick pony. Have a bunch of skills, practice using them, and you can be successful. That's my story.
Good deal. Hey, we've got a good show coming up on Wednesday, on the 11th. We're going to have two people. We're going to have Lisa Lamb, who has been with us before.
Her fourth time?
I want to say it's her fourth time. Yeah, it's her fourth time. She is the assistant manager, actually down the hall here at Goodwill. She works for NCWorks for the state, and she is the assistant manager for the NCWorks office here. She'll also have with her a cohort, Justin Tanks.
Yeah.
And so Justin deals more on helping businesses. And as we know, a lot of businesses are struggling to find workers and retain them. And so we're going to learn what the state is doing from Lisa's standpoint, as far as helping job hunters. What are some initiatives, programs coming down the pike, that kind of thing. And then also, all right, if you're an employer and you're watching our show, then what are some things the state is doing to engage with businesses to help them, again, attract and retain talent? A lot of services that kind of fly under the radar, I have a feeling, that could be a benefit if you only knew about them. Yeah. So we're going to learn about them. That'll be on Wednesday, 11:55 a.m. Eastern time. And please register to join in the conversation. Lisa's great. We've had her on a few times, and look forward to getting to know Justin a little bit more. So there's that. Teddy, I'm going to give you a tip, not for you, but this is for those that might be watching. And we've talked this before. I know you and I have. We've talked about giver's gain mentality or what have you, and offering up, even if you're in the job hunt, but offer to help other people. And I get it that I provide services, even though they're free. I provide services to help job hunters land a job. But I tell you what, I can count, and this is not necessarily, it's an observation. It's not, I'm not griping, and it's not like, oh no, oh, woe is me. But I could count on one hand the number of times over the years that I've had a job seeker client say, hey, Randy, some of these contacts you've given me, this is awesome. I mean, I really, really appreciate it. I know a lot of people as well, Randy. Are there folks that you would like me to introduce you to that might help grow the professional center? So, in other words, networking. It's a two-way street. At least I would wish it would be. So if you're a job hunter, please, please, please be mindful of helping the people that you're asking help from.
Right.
Reciprocate. And you never know where it's going to lead. The idea being, step up, because we all know people.
Mm-hmm.
We all know people. And so this is I think for me anyway, it would help someone stand out. And I would greatly appreciate that gesture if somebody were to do that. Just because largely because it's so rare.
Yeah.
It really is, but it's impactful.
Yep. Yeah. Who's that dude who wrote that book, Networking for Mutual Benefit?
That's
what you was talking about.
Sigmund Freud or Teddy Burriss. I'm trying to think.
One of the two. I can't remember.
One of those two.
Yeah.
I'll go with Burriss. I think it was you.
One of my one-hit wonders.
But you're right on target, man. Right on target. Yeah. Too many people bypass it, and they shouldn't. It doesn't take much, but we all know people. So volunteer to help.
Pays huge dividends when you do it with no expectations. Yeah. So, hey, here's my tip, Randy. Don't give up so dang early. Don't even give up. And not only don't give up on your goals, don't give up on your dreams, don't give up on your journey, but also don't push so freaking hard that you create a void that success can't get into. I've seen both. I've absolutely seen both. I'll admit I've probably done both, where I like, oh man, this really isn't going to work. And I give up way too early. Seth Godin wrote the book, The Dip, and he said, never quit at the bottom, always quit at the top. And people, it's hard for people to envision that. How does that work and how can you make that happen? But it's the best way to quit. I've given it all I've got. I pushed it as hard as I can push it. I see where it is. I realize it's not where I want to be, and I don't want to keep pushing, so I stop. Never give up at the bottom. But then the other side of this is people push so hard, they try so hard, they prospect so hard, they network so hard that they get so wrapped up in all that action to be able to do that so hard that they create a void that success can't happen. They create a void where the right people don't get into the conversations with you and be able to help you.
Yeah. So
my tip is this. Don't quit your goals at the bottom, and don't push so hard that you don't create an opportunity for success. That's my story, Randy.
Yeah, there's a lot to be learned from all that. And sometimes we unfortunately learn by doing or messing up. Yeah. And, we can learn life lessons if we just are open to hearing them, I think. Yeah. And trying to put them into play.
And learning from them.
Yeah, actually hearing it and then taking it one step further. So, hey, good stuff. So coming up Wednesday, we've got Lisa Lamb. We also have Justin Tanks. They're both with NCWorks, and they're going to talk about what the state of North Carolina is doing or what initiatives they have to help not only job hunters in a search and all of the case management things that they go through, but on the flip side, how are they engaging with employers throughout the state to help them with whatever challenges they face? Typically, it's going to be staffing. And how do we find workers? How do we train them? How do we retain them? Where do we go to get answers to questions about, again, employment issues? So we'll have a lot of answers for you on both those topics coming up on Wednesday.
11:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Will you be up by then, or do I have to set an alarm for you? I'm just asking, because now that you're a man of leisure, I mean, you get up when you want to and all that. I do,
but Randy, I understand my responsibilities. If I'm going live at 11:55, man, I'm up by 11:50.
Well, good. I'm good to see you. Good to see you're on the ball. Hey, Teddy, look at the time. It's getting away from us. So let's check out for now, and we'll check back in on Wednesday, and look forward to seeing you then, my friend.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself. Talk to you later.
All right. See you. Bye.